All right, Monday morning, January 13th, 2014. Sheldon Hall here with Mr. Jamison Williams. We are talking about the Pre-International Noise Conference, which is February 1st.
February 1st.
February 1st. What day of the week is that?
That is, I think a Saturday.
Saturday? All right. How many of the Pre-International Noise Conferences have happened here in Jacksonville so far?
We had one in 2009. Before that, there wasn't any that I can see. I mean, it's not listed in the archives.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no... Hal Harmon's been doing a fantastic job of organizing and archiving all the existing INC and pre-INC and all the INC tour show listings and video footage and as much as he can gather. So anything before 2009 there's no listings of it.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Albumoth did 2009. 2010 there wasn't any. Since 2011 I've been doing them all. I mean, that's pre-INCs, that's INC tours.
Mm-hmm.
I've been attending since 2007. Performing there since 2009. Jacksonville's, played host to anything that Rat Bastard is wanting to put on here. Is a welcome home to him in the Northeast.
What was your, tell me a bit about your experience the first time you attended yourself.
I put together a 12-piece thrash jazz ensemble called Trap Bomb with basically every known major player in the experimental and improvised avant jazz noise scene across Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Every major person in every major city in Florida. Brought them all together for one massive show on the first day, which is basically the locals day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an early set, so we performed, but you name it. I mean, it's a freak show. It's an absolute freak show. I mean, Aiden Dillard was going off. Silver underwear with a teddy bear in it, spazzing out all over the place. You always get Byron House. You get Oubliette was there. I think Hal McGee was performing that time. Ironing. You always get the same strong core group of musicians that come every single time. So it gets louder, it gets bigger, it gets more weird. I mean, just the freak level just keeps increasing every year.
How do you describe it to someone who knows nothing about it?
Well, you have contrasting expectations to sound. That's what's very palatable, very listenable, very engaging. And then you've got the contrast, which is just extreme dissonance, non-music. It's noise. It's harsh, dissonant, thrashing, hard sounds. I mean, it's not what your mom and dad are listening to. It's not what your grandma is going to be doing the soft shoe to.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard. It's challenging music.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in terms of the music some people call it music. It is music. I mean, it takes a technique, it takes a skill, it takes a desired interest to create this type of this sound design.
What is the appeal of it aesthetically to the listener?
I am not to every listener, so I really can't say.
What is the appeal of it to you?
Well, I like the extended techniques of it. I mean, if there are, if the person's using a pedal, mm-hmm. and their interest is trying to create as much sound from that one pedal as possible, they're going to try to find all the extended techniques they can get from it. They can try to get every element that originally that pedal wasn't designed for. If it's a distortion pedal and they're putting it into their guitar or their keyboard or bass guitar or vocals, it's by the manufacturer, it's designed to create one specific purpose. they're looking to do every imaginable. They're trying to create a color with that tool that I'm sure the guy over at Ibanez or whatever pedal manufacturer was designing this, they're trying to use it to better explain the creative idea that they can present to the listening public. So I mean, if it is, in my eyes, it's extended techniques. It's like, what color has not been created that this tool can help you explain, help showcase, define, explore. That's ultimately what I like, the technical aspect of it. Shit that you're not going to pretty much learn in college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the information I got in college is completely opposite of the information I'm producing on a horn. So if a person's using a pedal, then basically that's their equivalent of the horn, except if there was a pedal class in college, I'm sure they would say, well, you don't want to go too far to the knob tuning because it gets distorted. And most of these guys say, you know what, I'm going to turn it all the way over there. I want to see how far it can go because you're telling me not to do this, Teach.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, thank you very much. I'd like to see, if there was a pedal class, them doing the same thing I was doing in college with the horn. They say, go through scales. I'm like, good luck. I'm taking it all the way to the right, turning the knob all the way to where you tell me it's not going to, where it should be. It's the extended technique aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Where's the International Noise Conference centered at?
It's in Miami. It's always in Miami. There are many cities that host
mm-hmm.
Artists that are coming through to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps. It's a ladder to Miami, and everyone that comes from all across the United States are all gravitating to that area. So it's a stepping stone all the way there. We bring them in, and other cities bring them in, and it makes it fun. It makes it worth their while to come to our state and to Miami in general. I mean,
when is the International Noise Conference happening?
I think it's February 4th through the 8th. Originally it was 1 day, moved up to 2, and he's packing it in, bro. It's I can't wait for the day in which it's a week-long noise extravaganza with everybody from all around the world coming through.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Almost like a southern version of the Vision Festival.
Exactly. And just tons of people. I mean, you can see the same core musicians participating, but then in between just keeps getting filled with bigger, more extreme, more exaggerated, more fucking nuts. I mean, it just gets ridiculous. I mean, a couple years ago, dude came out butt-ass naked, girls in World War II German regalia squirting them down with baby oil, spazzing out like a freaking Dayglow wiggle worm. It was incredible weird. Just incredible weird. You'd never know what. Holly Hunt came through doing donuts inside of Churchill's, smoked the hell place out. Everyone's running out, eyes burning, fanned it out. They all run right back in. I mean, it was ridiculous. You never know what to expect there. There was a girl last year. The place is packed out, so you really can't see beyond a wall of people unless you start fighting close through. All you can see is a chubby, short girl freaking drop to the ground, buddy. Just drop to the ground, and everyone says, oh, God. You see the whole crowd pull back because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking it's got to be ridiculous if everyone in the crowd along that wall starts backing up. You see a microphone going up and down, and you can't see her, so you know that there's something rotten happening on the other side of that wall that you necessarily don't want to see,
mm-hmm.
and you know that their response by the third day of seeing even more and more ridiculousness and just freak extravaganza, that she must be doing something wicked rotten, and it's accepted.
What was she doing?
Oh, I mean, she's pummeling her snatch with a fucking mic stand, and
Oh,
I know,
nice.
I know, it's not cute, man, it's not cute. But the thing is, you know that's what you expect.
Mhm.
By the fourth day, it's not gonna get quieter. It's not gonna get sweeter. You're not gonna break out your Sunday's best for this.
Yeah.
It's gonna get rotten. It's gonna get pretty bad. That's great. That's why you go to Miami. You don't go to Miami to, I don't know, to some people go to what is it, the Art Basel, for the refined elegance of art, and no, you go to Little Haiti, man. That's where you go, where hobos are parking your car, where you can trust these guys, and you know that there's going to be just glass-faced, rotten piss blood on the floors. That's what you want. You don't want sweet, cutesy niceness, and it doesn't work like that there. If you haven't been there, I would say that ultimately you cannot take off your badge. Remove your shirt that says, oh, Marisbo, and get rid of your local loyalty to the noise scene. You've lost all merit, kid. You've got to go there and experience it and say, holy shit, I got to do a 4-day spree of just sweat, shit, fucking piss, blood, nastiness, smoke, and you've got to. If you don't, I'm sorry. You should contact your parents, let them know that you're coming home, and you're hanging up your distortion pedal. It's there's a certain degree of credibility that's attached to just knowing that you're going to go to the front and just see it through to the end. I mean, that means sleeping on a hotel room floor with 5 other people,
Mm-hmm.
or Bill Henderson. We went down there, and this dude was scratching to be left in a parking lot with about 50 other people with hookers in a big double-decker bus. He didn't care. And me and A.G. Davis are like, sure, we'll fucking leave your ass here, dude. We don't care. Leave your ass here. He goes, fuck it, man, fuck. We had a hotel, 10 people in a room. The Henderson's snoring, busted shitless. We go back there, everyone's gone. In that, the parking lot across from church, everyone's gone. Only one left there were the hookers in the double-decker bus. And I'm thinking, that's where Henderson would have been. That's where, it's just a rotten, sick, disgusting. I was there drinking a wild turkey, 11 o'clock in the morning, drink a wild turkey. All of a sudden, the fans in Churchill's are running so slow. We're drinking, we're getting free drinks, pouring back, it's great. All of a sudden, 2 hobos bash through the front door of the place, falling on the floor, middle of fight, cops just looking at them like this is a normal thing on this side. It's just rotten, hobo, just dirtiness. Hookers, like, it's not a normal, it's not Avondale. It's not Jacksonville in any regard. The only place close to this would be 3 o'clock in the morning on Payne Street. That's it. There's no place in Jacksonville where you could say, oh, yeah, that's pretty much like any time of day in Little Haiti, Miami. It's intended for the noise scene. There's no other place that I can imagine in Florida that's best made and a perfect environment for that type of music.
What do you plan to perform?
Yeah. I since 2009, I've been performing with Stephen Bristol and Dan Hosker. Dan Hosker passed away 2 years ago. Unfortunate incident of a car accident. He his banjo fell out the back. He's a perfect local, beautiful fixture of everything associated with the Miami scene. He's worked with Rat Bastard, Nando Navai, Dan Hosker. He's been there since the beginning. He's been there. He was in Harry Pussy. He was a very, very important figure in the Miami music scene. And his banjo fell out of the back of his truck, and he went to retrieve it on the highway and got hit, and it was a hit and run. He was in a coma, and he wound up passing. And that was my trio, me, him, and Stephen Bristol. That was my team. I was there. We were all, he played guitar, Stephen Bristol was drums, and I played horn. And that's, that was tough, man. That was really fucking tough. That was a major impact on Miami. I mean,
when did that happen?
2 years ago. I mean, it was last year. I performed with Stephen Bristol, and he and I said, "That's I won't do it anymore." And he agreed. He said, "That's not. It's not necessarily. Yeah, that's. We'll have to. I'm not gonna continue doing that shit, dude. We'll have to. He'd do his own thing. I'll do my own thing. It's just appropriate."
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be performing this year. I don't know. Maybe bring in A.G. Davis. Just maybe vocals and sax. If Stephen Bristol forms some other larger ensemble and he needs a horn player, I'll participate. I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm auto booked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grandfathered in. Every time there's INC, I'm auto booked. I don't have to to make a phone call or send an email. I'm just. So it still says Stephen Bristol and Jamison Williams, even though it's like, even though that's probably not going to be the ensemble that I'm working with. So I don't know, I have no idea. I'd like to put together Trap Bomb, get a 12-piece thrash jazz ensemble, do it on a massive evening, but getting 12 people together throughout the entire Florida to come to Miami, it's a bit challenging.
True. Tell me a bit about the pre-international noise conference here in Jacksonville. Who are some of the artists that one may expect to the talents, the shiny talents that people can expect to see?
We've got all the major fellas here in Jacksonville that typically come through every year. I think we've got, as I said, people coming from Atlanta coming through. We've got Pony Payroll Bones. We've got Jenny Moon. We got Dub Normal. We've got Justin Waters. We've got a lot of those guys. But most of the people that are here in town that have been doing it for years and years are going to be doing it the same. We've got a handful of new people that tend to come through that have started generating a bigger crowd since the past few years. We've got Coaval. We've got Ryan Stanley, all the Ivermere House, Ryan Stanley, Dylan Titsey. We've got right now we've got over 24 people booked, and so that although I don't want to necessarily make mention of specific names because
sure.
They wind up dropping out at the last minute all the time, and then you wind up having to you've got collaborative teams that they say, well, I don't want to necessarily do it myself. Can I work with this guy? I'm like, sure. So if I make mention of them now, then
sure.
who's to fucking say they're going to be around? They're
yeah.
You know what? We're deciding to be called the Jacksonville Noise Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
They'll change the name deliberately because it's in there.
Right. They don't. You don't know what to expect. And that's, I've been doing
That's part of the charm.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years now, so I can kind of see you just build a list, provide links, and know that everything's going to get changed at the last minute. Mm-hmm. Either their car's not going to get here, the equipment's going to fail, but you're still going to You're going to wind up at the end of the day with at least 24 acts performing 15-minute sets. So it's definitely interesting. I would love to get all the people that were originally a part of it. There were so many amazing acts that Chris Page did a few years ago, and he came through Shantytown with every form of landscaping equipment you can imagine. He had weed eaters and blowers and just loud, amplified. Chris Spawn was playing very delicate music, and the whole stage was covered in cacti. I mean, the whole stage. And I'm like, it was all delicately placed, organized, and I'm like, look at this guy. I mean, this is incredible. It's like he put so much time. It was charming. It was absolutely, you look at it and you're like, he's got a little museum of every form of cactus that you can imagine, and he's like, this is amazing, great. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, you look at it and you reflect back, and I'm glad that every year, Anna Funk's taking pictures, and I'm glad that she goes to the INC every year and gets amazing footage as well. I mean, so having the documentation is the most important shit you can have. I mean, you lose it with 24 people right then. I mean, I look at the schedule every other day or so to update it, and even now when you ask me who's playing, I mean, I can name 4 or 5 people. If you don't have the documentation of video and photographs, you forget the 24 people that are performing. So, I mean, with it being archived and with every aspect being covered and saved and preserved, you look at it and you say, man, this is the new punk rock. This is the new thrash hardcore. This is the new Stravinsky. This is the new experimental avant-garde, and it should definitely be preserved. I'm not saying in 1,000 years people are going to reflect on it and say, "Oh, this was," but who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
I think that every aspect of it's that important.
Everything should be documented.
Everything that I was doing it solo, I said, you know what? I've got to document every aspect of it. Every day, I know it's short-lived. I got to get it all. If I don't get it all, then that one guy that came through that one day and performed for 15 minutes, then didn't do it ever again, went back to his wife and dealt with his baby children and his fucking piece of shit boss. At least I caught it before he disappeared into the bullshit oblivion.
That's right.
It's important. I mean, day after, my ears will be ringing, and but at least everything was captured, and they've contributed to this ongoing musical permanence, non-musical permanence. It's beautiful. It's just, I think that's the aspect of it that needs to be preserved.
How is your involvement in this scene musically as a fan, whatnot? How has it changed, altered, enriched your life personally, on a human level, if at all? Is there anything you take from noise into the rest of your life when the noise is not there? Like now we're sitting here. This is a very quiet spot. This is very pastoral, serene, calm. It's like
Jones College isn't on.
Yeah, it's a very aesthetically, it's a marked contrast to, and that's something I've always enjoyed about your work in general, like the sound, the way the sound contrasts at the same time matches well with the aesthetic, say with your CDs. So I was just curious about that. Are you conscious of a commonality? I
think I wear earplugs now. I mean, that's I wear earplugs now.
They're right here.
Yeah. No, those are fucking couplers for. Yeah, but I don't know. It's I think I'm the same guy. I mean, I'm getting older. Exercise is important, I guess. Longevity is a little bit more important. I don't think that there's any degree of any major change.
So you don't walk around you don't go jogging and hear the birds chirping and think about running that bird chirping through an effects pedal.
I don't put any effects on my horn. There's no effects added to it. So it's everything I do is still a degree of college knowledge. It's just reformed, revamped, further explored college knowledge. I think it's how it's affected my life is seeing how the anthropological aspect of it is very important. You see that so many people who have been a part of it kind of are not a part of it anymore, and that there's a new wave of people come through that some may keep permanent with it. Some may they may come through, and I've seen some freaks. I mean, a dude named Vivian Vex came through, and he was here for a very short time, and he wound up leaving. I saw him. He came through, and for the sake of performance, got both his eyes tattooed, and it's like black eyes from where they had been injected with ink and
But his actual eyeballs?
His eyeballs. That's what I'm saying. You're not gonna get that in. I don't know. It's a very small window in which you see this person in this aspect of their 20-year-old life get their eyeballs tattooed for performance, and then they disappear. So, I mean, in anthropological aspect, the historical aspect of this and how it pertains to sound design and musical historical spectrum, seeing this one guy that may or may not be participating in it in the future, you see who he was during this tiny element. Some continue on, some fade away. I may see this guy with the black tattooed eyeballs working at McDonald's one day, and I'm like, oh, look at you. Hey, I've got video footage of you coming down here. God, are you still destroying a pedal and playing doom noise at all? It may just be a passing phase. But that's how it's applied to my life, is looking at the longevity aspect of it and seeing how many people really... It's like buying a guitar when you're 14. Are they going to be studying scales and really learning it and developing till they're 60? Or they're just hoping to get some snatch and get a couple brews and burn off some testosterone? It's good to see those who are doing it for a scene, doing it for their musical contribution, doing it for a sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, a sense of musical accomplishment, or to make their city important. I don't know. That's good to see these multiple aspects, and I feel like a grandfather now, because so many come through and so many aren't. They no longer participate. But as you sit back in the cozy chair and you watch them come through, and in 20 years they'll be sitting on your lap asking you for shit for Christmas, and say, oh well, thanks, That's all you can do.
Tell me a bit about the Experimental Arts Union of Florida. How's that been coming along? When did that start?
That started in January of 2013. Actually, December of 2012. That was on the tail of Solo Sound Gallery as a way to bring in the world's best musicians, world's best experimental arts musicians. I've been pretty much working on the musical side of it, trying to bring in every major performer in the experimental arts field as possible. I mean, you name it. Nate Woolley to Yacht Blanc to Peter Brotzman. I mean, that's...
Yeah, let's go down the list of EAUF events over this past year.
We brought in, with Tim Massett, we got Eugene Chadbourne and Tetsuya Nakatani, Yacht Blanc and Jeb Bishop, Peter Brotzman and Joe McPhee, Nate Woolley and Chris Carsano. Yeah. We have got, we had Tom Blanchart come through. We've got Jack Wright coming through in March with Andrew Drury. Man, I've got Tim Daisy coming through with Mikolas Trzeszka. I mean, that's like, these are top tier musicians. These are some of the best musicians on the planet. I mean, only people we don't have is Cecil Taylor and John Zorn. Anthony Braxton. That would be nice. I don't have 50 grand to throw out for musicians, but if I did, I would do it, man. I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would throw it right, even if 5 people showed up. I'd be like, I don't care. I saw him right there, buddy.
Yeah.
I brought him to our town, and you know what? They're going to go back to their city, and they're going to say, I was treated with the highest of courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
I was treated not like a celebrity being hounded and dug in. And I was treated like a human being who is respected for this art that I do in a town where nobody knows of it. I mean, very few people. You throw out like, okay, Peter Brotzman or Pat Benatar. Everyone's going to check off Pat Benatar. I know who that is. I know who that is. The survey will be unanimously to Weird Al, to Lisa Loeb. It's not going to be to Yacht Blanc and Eugene Chadbourne. But that's the reason I have to continue to do it. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm doing this all out of pocket. I'm a broke wedding photographer. I mean, an out-of-work school teacher. And all my money is going towards bringing in the most important, most influential musicians in experimental history. I mean, it's all these people are going to have 4 stars and a crown in the Penguin Guide to Jazz.
Oh, yeah.
All of them are. And I would hate to think that it's the Schindler's List. I mean, that's exactly it. For this one ring, can I bring in an additional artist? Of course, I will. Yes. I will. I'll do whatever I can to keep them coming through. Mm-hmm. I'll sell my Volvo. I sold a 1947 Conn 6M Naked Lady alto saxophone. The most important, that's the holy grail of my arsenal for Peter Brotzman, so he can come here. That's like getting rid of a 1958 Gibson Les Paul.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what you do. You value that, and it's important to have them here. He's never been to Florida, and to have him
that notch.
Well, I mean, it's to have the city know. It opens a door.
Yes.
They say, well, Brotzman's been here. He's on the schedule. Oh, well, he's never been there. They don't just pass from Atlanta to New Orleans anymore.
Yeah.
They can say, you know what, we might see what's available at Savannah and maybe head down to Jacksonville and open up the 95 Expressway.
Exactly. That's a great way of looking at it.
You've got to. I mean, if they don't come to Jacksonville, then basically they're not going to go to Orlando or Miami. And I feel like a piece of shit not allowing, it's a responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can basically do is save my cash and go and see them in their hometown. What fun's in that?
Yeah.
I mean, the EAUF has a responsibility to Florida. And ultimately, if I don't do it, I feel that the state is incomplete in providing a responsibility to the entire Floridian population for contemporary, non-traditional art, especially musical art. That's my passion, my love, and that's what I know more about. So if
Folio readers have enjoyed you've done. It was
thank you.
It's recognized in the last thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's Nick McGregor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Champion.
Great guy.
Absolutely. He contacted me, and prior to any of this 15 top, he contacted me, and there was a transition between editors, and he said, I'd like to cover it. I said, he covered the interview. So to see that there, I love that. It's a beautiful, wonderful contribution. I'm a ginger beer and a big cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm a good dinner.
What are some of the musical events that EAUF and affiliated groups will be doing in the next couple of months? Because this will be running like late January, or I guess probably the story will probably run like the week of the February 1st. So is there anything coming up February, March worth we should know about?
Yeah, February we've got Tim Daisy. February 17th we've got Tim Daisy and Mikolas Trzeska. Trzeska has been he is a fixture. Well, both of them are a fixture in Ken Vandermark's ensembles, as well as Joe McPhee's ensembles and Peter Brotzman's ensembles. They are I cannot stress it, and I know it sounds like hyperbole, but these are the most important musicians in jazz history today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot stress that. I know it sounds like if you keep turning up the volume loud, then everything sounds loud. But to say it loud, these are people that you don't want to miss.
Yes.
You don't want to miss them. You don't want to miss Jack Wright. Yeah. Jack Wright is the Johnny Appleseed of all these musicians.
Mm.
All of them. I mean, everyone has spent time in Philadelphia and stayed at his house and learned for multiple months before leaving. Nate Woolley was with him. I mean, you name it. Bonnie Jones, Tim Albro is here locally. Our local EAUF prime contributor, Tim Albro, he has direct contributions and associations with Jack Wright.
When is Jack Wright coming?
March 23rd.
All right.
All these are being held at Karpeles Manuscript Museum.
Oh.
These are, I had Weasel Walter for January, but there was a conflict between a Cellular Chaos tour, and I didn't have the funds to bring him and Mark Edwards together. If I had the funds, they would have both been here performing nonstop.
I would love to have them. I'd love to have Cellular Chaos.
That's what I'm saying. I'd
love to have Cellular Chaos with Pocket of Lollipops from Miami.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
you have Cellular Chaos. He basically was organizing the schedule and said, I've got 1 week between what's already existing in my Cellular Chaos schedule, and between that and my European tour with Lydia Lunch with Retrovirus.
Oh.
Yeah, he said, can I get Mark Edwards in? I said, I wish we could. I was hoping actually, if not getting you through here in Miami to do basically work with Rat Bastard and Kenny Millions, if that doesn't fall through at an EAUF event in Miami at Churchill's, we'll get you here to do a drum clinic. Just a fucking drum clinic for Weasel Walter and bring in a small ensemble of local musicians to perform with afterwards.
Citroen would love something like that.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's a drum. It's an incredible. I mean, Flying Lutenbach, anybody. He's got Peter Evans.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is I don't know. I think it's looking at the long view and seeing all these amazing. I had him for January, and because me not being able to bring in Mark Edwards, there was a conflict, and money has a way of manipulating. So I said, you know what, you do what you got to do. You have to take care of yourself. Don't worry about me. So he said, I'll contact you back after the Retrovirus and the Retrovirus tour, and we'll definitely arrange something. I said, perfect. Yeah. So building a relationship with all these musicians is what's ultimately key.
Because these are all people that we've wanted to.
Yes.
Because this is stuff we've
always our
since
teens.
We were kids.
Yes.
Having these conversations for years, and you're the guy that's actually stepped up to make that happen.
If you don't, and plus they look at it and they say you're not a showboating promoter, and you're not an organizer just bent on profits, and they understand that I'm a musician. Mm-hmm. So they're like, you're dude. They understand that I'm just coming through, getting these, that I'm not making any money.
It's about creating quality experience.
That's it. Having them appreciate what they're doing and showing what they're doing to an audience that is relatively unaware. And that's, I understand how hard it is, and that's why they come through, and they know that they're not going to be gouged. They know that I'm going to throw them $20 and then I'm going to walk away with $2,000.
Yeah.
It's not it's not happening like that. They know that I'll eat whatever just to make sure that they are completely satisfied and that they're comfortable enough so I can scoot them on to the next city wherever they're planning on going.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's at. Making sure they leave happy, comfortable, had a good experience, and they speak highly of Jacksonville. Speak highly of Florida. Speak highly of speak highly to any musician that they're going to go back and discuss with. Jeremiah Zimmerman,
especially Halverson.
Yeah. Halverson, she's working with Stephen Bristol, the guy that I'm going to be performing with in Miami.
Oh, wow.
She's got a recording session with him in February, and there's a chance that I might be able to bring her up. Funds are what's key here. You see, am I going to spend $1,000 out of pocket to possibly bring her through to 3 people? That would be nice. I mean, it would be nice to have a place packed out to where I can at least recoup, so that money would go back towards another amazing artist.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to be putting my money towards possibly bringing in amazing artists, reputable, credible, high-tier artists for Jazz Fest. That's what I would like.
That would be ideal.
Extend.
And with the Jazz Festival After Dark thing,
Exactly.
It's an ideal situation.
Extend it out to Springfield at Karpeles.
Yeah.
Ingrid LeBrock would be nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You see?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Tom Rainey.
Yep. That's what I mean, they're right there.
Yeah.
They're right there, and they're within budget. And that's kind of where I'm looking at it. It's like if you can extend beyond Big Fat Voodoo Daddy and Trombone Shorty,
right.
And if I can take the reins to bring in
that stuff's cool.
That stuff is cool.
That brings in the money.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different. You can get them inexpensively, or within reason.
Sure.
And it's not going to be $50,000 to bring them in. While at the same time, it will be music that is for a particular age demographic.
All these guys are like
musical demographic.
All these guys are very reasonably priced as far as fees, and like if you're looking at like a jazz festival setting, a situation where you have a festival setting where you have the infrastructure already like set up, you have the promotional machinery already set up. And those fees, you're looking at pretty much guaranteed profit.
That's it.
If you've got like say like a Halverson or Lisa Walter or Cellular Chaos or something like that going on a Jazz Fest After Dark setting where the spot's already guaranteed to be packed, you're going to make the venue's going to make that money back just on the bar.
Dude, absolutely. That's how I pay off the house every single time is off of wine.
Yeah.
I never have to touch it, dude. All the door goes directly to the guarantee. Wine covers house.
Yeah.
It's like I walk away saying thank you very kindly.
Yeah.
I mean, if it gets extended to, imagine the possibilities. I mean, you get Greg Kelly, Peter Evans. I mean, you get, it would be nice to get Ken Vandermark.
Oh.
It would be nice to get Matthew Shipp.
Yes.
It would be nice to get any of these artists that are obtainable.
Yeah.
These are all highly. I mean, it would have been nice if while Roscoe Mitchell was here, if there would have been an established, credible institution that would have been able to just skirt him our way.
Yeah.
But we didn't have it at the time. So now, it's good that institution was made available, the Orlando institution.
Civic Minded 5?
Civic Minded 5, yeah. And it's good I think Roscoe Mitchell was organizing through a local college there, through a residency. And Civic Minded 5, many of the musicians there have to do community service. So Civic Minded is their conduit to public service.
Gotcha.
In our case, there's no college in which they're going to be doing residencies. So if there is a general conduit to bring these musicians through, the EAUF is that sole conduit. I mean, that's so. There's a lot of. Imagine getting Tim Byrne.
Oh.
That's one of the. I'm looking to get Fred Frith for the fall, and Mats Gustafsson for 2015.
Man, Han Bennick.
Tom Bennick would be nice.
Imagine getting Clouseau 3. Like,
You see, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't mind getting, I wouldn't mind getting William Parker solo, baby.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
what I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind getting Mark Dresser pulling solo. That's, oh, man.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Or Jerry Hemingway doing just solo percussion. Marilyn Crispell, get her ass around. That would be beautiful.
That would. I was just thinking about that.
That would be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what her funds are. I would like to get Polly Bradfield out of retirement. That's just me. Even for a one, if Zorn can't do it, I can't do it. But there's always
Zorn's the kind of guy like you could make a solid pitch to the actual jazz festival of like putting John Zorn in like a main stage spot. Like John Zorn would fill the Florida Theater.
He would fill absolutely. He would,
You know,
if during
Karpeles,
done.
At any,
Yeah.
you can put any ticket price you want on that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. You could drop it at 50 at the bare minimum.
Yeah. I would buy like the Jazz Festival VIP pass if free admission to Zorn at Karpeles was part of the deal.
Absolutely.
That'd be worth price of
It's
admission.
a closed area. It's warm. Brotzman even said that.
Amazing acoustic.
Yes, he said that. He said that the venue breathes in the sound, and I mean, eloquently, he is absolutely correct. I mean, it's a beautiful venue that is designed for vocal acoustics. And I mean, if it was a closed session upon ticket purchase, that they would have tickets to that. Absolutely, I would buy that. I mean, if you had, man, imagine Evan Parker coming through, buddy.
Oh man. I mean, with the venue like that, it's almost like you don't even really need acoustic. I mean, you don't even really need amplification.
You don't need any amplification.
You know, it's everything. It's ideal for like audio recording. It's ideal for video recording.
Absolutely.
It's the kind of thing like, you know, shows can be recorded, stuff can be streamed live, you know, stuff can be like digitally archived.
They've got a balcony there that seats what, like 85 or something? It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, you look down on it and you're just like, I'm watching history. I mean, Brotzman came out and clapped, and I heard the tale.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what, this is his song. Came out with clarinet just to test acoustics. He found the tail. I mean, I play a horn. I can hear the tail. The reverb's just, you close off. It's not ideal for extremely loud percussion.
Right.
But when Corsano came through, he's down there on the floor playing, and it was...
Brushes.
Yes. I mean, he's playing with sticks, and a true professional knows how to make that room sing, even on a kit. I mean, the guy's a champ. Every person that has come through there, that they immediately know that there's a general high quality to that venue, and I can't disagree with that at all. I mean, it's amazing. So, ideally, what I would like to do, I was talking to Jeremiah Zimmerman when he came through, and he said, I like the hospitality. I like the city. The venue is incredible. You have been more than generous and been a warm, gracious host. And he gave me a huge list of performers that I should contact.
Nice.
And that is the type of appreciation that's rewarded for paying host to these amazing artists.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's sort of how I felt about that wrestling show the other night, or like some of the music stuff that I do involved with as a journalist. Whenever someone that you come up looking up to, and you come around, you meet them as an adult, and you can engage them like on a straight up eye to eye level, and to actually be respected by someone that you respect so much
that's the shit.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and plus you don't want to see them give up hope. I mean, there are too many there are too many that say, you know what, I've put enough years in, I've lost too much money, and I'm tired. And you're like, bro, bro. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I own all your albums. I want to see you develop. Mm-hmm. Nate Woolley was talking about Sonny Rollins,
mm-hmm.
and he said that the media, the journalists, always give him shit about where he's gone since Saxophone Colossus and the Bridge and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always biting into him like, oh yeah, we expected more. They're poor ratings. Instead of looking at it like, hold up a second, before we establish an opinion about what this guy is doing or where he's been for the past 5 years, let's look at it as a big picture. Let's start defining this person as an artist and stepping back, and instead of every step along the way, oh no, you should have put your toes in. You should have sidestepped. Whatever balance in the decision of that path that the artist is making is being criticized every moment. Step back and look at it as an entire. That is ultimately. I look at it and I say, that's what I'm experiencing when I see them come through. So when I know that from all sides they're being chewed up, being criticized, they're under a spotlight that's always being scrutinized. I say, you know what? I'm going to make it as comfortable as possible for you, so that you will continue to perform. That you are doing something beneficial to the community, to yourself, to your family, to the interests of music in its entirety. Keep going, man. Don't fail. You can't fail. You've done everything you could, and your creativity. Fuck the people who wind up saying this is wrong or that's wrong or how this can be judged. It's you're doing what's musically an expression of what you are doing. You're doing. I'll buy your albums. I'll buy them till you're fucking dead, because it's important to see you continue to stay functional.
That's right.
That's why I'll continue to put them on. That's why I put on everything through pre-INC. That's why I'll continue to go and see everybody that's performing at in Miami, because you see the longevity, you see the people involved, you see the changes, you see the development. And how does it apply to me? I have no idea. But it's good to, as an attendee, see the adjustments, the change, the development, and you want them to keep on going. It's noise. It's not good. Is it, motherfucker? You don't know shit. I like to see you. I mean, you musicologist. I don't. Until you get a fucking degree to indicate what you believe is in fact correct, and you've got the backbone and the fucking the historical fucking significance as a artist, as a fucking person who's hoofed it as hard as fucking everybody else. Shut your fucking mouth, because it's not any fucking value. It's fuck off. Fuck off, because I don't care if it's top tier musicians to the lowest fucking chick that's microphone jabbing her snatch. It's all the same to me. They're putting on an amazing performance that if you can't appreciate it and you think it's left of dial and it's not worth your time, then plug your fucking ears, man. And mind your own fucking business and go back to listen to Lawrence fucking Welk. I don't have time for it. You're a fucking joke to me. I see these people with passion. I see them coming through for 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Of fame.
Of fame. Most of them don't even. They've got the blinders on it. They're not aware of fame. They know that there's no. They know that that they're not going to become famous doing this. They're not going to be. And next up is right after Britney.
Yeah. Ryan Seacrest is
right. Fucking that shit's not going to be like. Then the next Lady Gaga, and now we've got Faker. We've got the Voids right after. It's not going to work. I mean, that's. They know that the 15 minutes they're just going to give their fucking balls to this fucking stage, grind out some A.G. Davis, wrap his face in duct tape, and scream bloody terror for 15. He knows he's not gonna be on VH1 in 20 years. It's not gonna work. But you appreciate his die-hard effort. There were 5 people at Jeremiah Zimmerman. And this is a guy who performed like he was at Carnegie. That's what I love. I think that's why you look at it and you say, you know what? These are the aspects of the musical environment that's, if it's forgotten, if it's not appreciated, then who's going to take him in? You're not going to see him at the Florida Theater anytime soon. You're not going to see him open it up for AC/DC. I mean, freaking Collective Soul's still doing shit. And I'm just trying to figure out like why more people are showing up for the fucking Hootie and the Blowfish reunions, while at the same time why Weasel Walter's canceling fucking shows and refusing to do any improvised work, closing down UG Explode because 2 people shows up to a New York show.
Shit.
UG Explode's gone, man.
Fuck.
UG Explode's dead. He's selling off all back issues that he's already pressed because 2 people show up to a show that he's done.
I mean, it's like if you put out a flyer in New York saying, if you show up at this venue at this time, we will rob you at gunpoint. You'll get more than 2 people.
Right, exactly.
You'll be like, oh, they're not really going to rob us. We got to go check this out.
Yes. Oh, no, let's please. Free rapes. Come to the show, free rapes. Yeah. You'll get at least 2 people showing up. Weasel Walter performing, oh, man. 2 people show up, and he's like, fuck this. I'm done.
Gee whiz.
I'm done. I mean, I'm looking at it like, well,
see, if people on that level that are at the top of their game have to deal with stuff like that, even up in New York, which is like the epitome of the business, that just goes to show why it's so important that things like Florida and whatnot are opening up to expand the market for all these guys.
I mean, who was it? Was it Patti Smith? What I'm saying that New York's not necessarily a place for the artist anymore. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know of any of. I mean, I have no idea. Yeah. But I can see peripherally all the people that's associated with the type of music that I listen to, that they are leaving there. It is our responsibility if we want to continue to see them thrive. As I said, if they fucking die off because they don't see it beneficial, then every city that it's our responsibility.
Jazz scenes are experiencing a lot more in like a lot more in places like Rhode Island and Connecticut, Philadelphia,
Maine, all those, any place, because you drop the bomb and it's the aftermath.
Asheville, Savannah,
those are great music cities. Mm-hmm. Those are great. I mean, Tom Blomkart came through here. That's Weasel Walter's bassist with Louise Jansen. I mean, great horn players. These are New York natives. Yeah. They're doing a tour of the South, bro. They're doing like Jacksonville, Tallahassee, trying to find some place in New Orleans just to spread the word. They're doing what Nate Woolley wound up telling me about Jack Wright, that they're exploring these rural towns. They now realize the same as I do. You can't feed a city that's fat. You can't. They're jaded. They're tired. They're frustrated. They say, fuck off. But if you feed these small towns who say, man, I'd really like to see, Corsano. I'd like to see, I'd like to see any person on Fidelity. I'd like to see Roy fucking. That's bullshit. I'd like to see any of these musicians before they die.
Yes.
Because once they're dead, let me go and listen to that one more time. Yeah. Let's flip that CD one more time.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Someday William Parker will be where David S. Ware is.
Exactly. And you'll be sitting there thinking, like, man. Shit.
I think about, like, having, like, that one. Like, I could have seen Blossom Dearie once in New York. I was in New York, and she was playing on Monday night. I was like, oh, no, I'll just go see it next week. And I wasn't even there. You don't
do that, bro. I'm seeing,
Martha Argerich has worked America like once in the past decade. She was at Carnegie Hall, and I think she ended up canceling that. Now it's like if Argerich comes back ever anywhere in the country, like I'm just gonna drop everything on. It's a pilgrimage.
That's it. You've got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see all these pictures on there's a guy Kurt Gottlieb or something like that on the Facebook. He posts these pictures every day of all these amazing performers. I mean, William Parker solo stuff, and I'm like, I would be broke in New York. Every day I would never be stuck in a house. I'd be like, well, I'm going to go see. I'm going to see. I will be there watching Logan, Giuseppe in the Central Park, completely off meds, wasted Sally, dude. I would be trying to find every Charles Gale. I don't care if he's spouting religious context about anti-abortion. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm going there to see him. I'm gonna go to what is it called, the Douglas Street Collective, the David Street. I don't care. I would find all these places. I would go see Greg Kelly. I would go see I would go to any place that there is valuable historical musicians and not take them for granted. Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand that it's important to get them while you have them.
Yes.
Because once they're dead, they're gone. You got pictures, you've got video, you've got audio. Mm-hmm. It's keeping historically them alive and appreciating them while you got them. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're wasting their time. You're wasting our time. And
wasting your own time.
Exactly. And I mean, Jeb Bishop was here, and he kind of put things in perspective. He basically said, I focus on what I do, and I appreciate what I do. And he's a very soft-spoken man. And he said, I'm just glad that people still listen. And he's in the Broxman 1010, man. This is a guy that's seen like a huge. Yeah. This guy's performed. I mean,
seen the world.
Seen every amazing performer that's directly associated with historical experimental jazz firsthand. And you see, and there's a modesty because he's not doing the Axl Rose, kick out a fucking motel room window, hookers and booze. He's like, I'm just going to practice my horn and, appreciate quiet home family life. And I'm like, you fucking round.
Yeah.
You put things in perspective, and you've got a great value for it's an understanding of value, appreciation for musical history. He's welcome back to my house any day. Yeah. Beautiful people.
On that note, I think we shall wrap it up. We're at minute 64. It's very good talking to you. The Pre-International Noise Conference, February 1st. I think it's a Saturday at Shantytown.
Yes, Shantytown.
And the Tom Daisy and...
it's Tim Daisy and Mikolaj Trzeska on February 17th. We've got Andrew Drury and Jack Wright, man. March 23rd.
Both of those are at the Karpeles?
Yeah, both of those are Karpeles.
All right. Anyone who wants to find out more about you, Experimental Arts Union of Florida, etc., how can they find out?
EAUF.org. Yeah. Very simple.
The link will be in the somewhere attached to whatever this is you're listening to this at. Thank you very much, Jamison Williams.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to you soon, sir.